How's it going, everyone? This is Soul Cinched here, and welcome to my review of episode 4 of season 6 of Battlebots. Now, if you watched my predictions video, I predicted every single fight correctly. So I gotta get a little flex. So I didn't get all the methods right, but I got every single fight correct. So my today's pretty good. That really boosted me in the Discord server that I'm in. I went out of 140 people in this Discord server about BattleBots. There is a predictions game where you go in and predict each match, predict who will win and how they'll win, getting a total of, if you get everything correct, you can get up to 16 points per episode. And out of 140 people, I am ranked in 4th place. So, say I'm doing pretty good. And also, this is coming out way later than it usually does. I had to work Sunday, which is when I'll usually record it. And it is Monday night when I am recording this. So, hopefully, it is Tuesday morning when you're watching this. But yeah, that's why this video is coming out so late. But, with all that out of the way, let's just get straight into the matches. First up, we had Malice versus Jackpot. Now, Malice is a legit contender. However, they've had some issues both last season and in their first fight this season. And they looked much, much stronger in this match. Unfortunately for them, they were going up against Jackpot, who is an absolute beast this season. Their first match was their first match was a YouTube exclusive match where they beat Deadlift. So this is their first time making a main appearance during the season. And they went with a different blade than their double diamond. They called this one the Heartbreaker. It is a lighter heart-shaped disc. And this thing is pretty potent. This thing does some damage. This was a pretty nasty fight. Malice showed some pretty good durability, but ultimately Jackpot came away with the KO in this match. Jackpot looked pretty good last year, and they look like an absolute beast this year. The next match is Ribbot versus Overhaul. Overhaul was a pretty well-known control bot that competed in the first 3 seasons. However, they have missed the last 2. And as we've seen so far, a lot of bots that have missed seasons and come back, they don't tend to do that well. It takes them a season or 2. They haven't really done as well as they did back when they were competing a few years ago. And Overhaul came out and just got absolutely dominated by Ribbot. It was a very quick match. Ribbot went in with their undercutter instead of their vertical spinner and hit him a few times, and Overhaul just completely locked up. They were counted out, and that was the end of the match. I really do question some of these matchups, because this is the second fight in a row that Ribbot has gotten a very, very easy control bot for a match. Their third match has to be a more serious contender, because their first match was against a rookie robot, which was a control bot, and this one was against Overhaul, who's missed the last 2 seasons, and again is just a control bot. They're not really getting the toughest of components, so that's kind of strange. The next match is another one that kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. It's Blade versus Scorpio. Scorpio is a top-tier robot, and they threw Blade, a rookie bot, up against it. Scorpio is also known as the Tombstone Killer, and Blade is a robot very, very similar to Tombstone. They are the first team to compete at BattleBots from South Korea. Their bot looks pretty good, and they have some experience. However, they were just absolutely dominated by Scorpios. They looked like they had some driving issues. It just looked like they just looked unexperienced, really. And they looked somewhat slow, and I think for most of the match they were actually not able to drive. About a minute or so into the match, Scorpios hit one of their wheel guards, which wedged it against their wheel, and all they could really do was sort of crab walk, and should have got counted out fairly early, but Scorpios continued to engage and continued to punish them and took it all the way to the judges, where, of course, Scorpios won. Blade did get a couple hits in with their blade, and they look like they have some power behind it. They look like they have potential. They just got thrown up against a seasoned, veteran, top-tier competitor. Not really a good matchup for a rookie. But that's what happened, and hopefully Blade will bounce back in their next match. Next, we have Tombstone versus Mammoth. Now, one thing they did in the episode is they had a bit of a section that was kind of an interview with Ray Billings, going over how he won the Giant Nut a few years ago, was the most feared bot, and kind of talking about how he may have fallen from grace, and he mentioned how everyone's saying, like, oh yeah, Tombstone fell off, it's an old bot. And Ray Billings basically said, yeah, but we still hit hard, and we will still kill you if we get a good hit in. So going into this match, Tombstone absolutely had to win with an 0-1 start, and they were going up against Mammoth, the big, quirky robot that doesn't look like much, but has proven to be legit. And we had a very, very strange outcome of this match. Tombstone came in, hit Mammoth, bounced around, hit them again, bounced around, then had a third hit that was an absolute monster hit that broke off one of Mammoth's wheels, leaving them incapacitated. However, the recoil of that hit sent Tombstone flying into the wall, and whenever they bounced off, their left wheel completely locked up. And since both robots were incapacitated at the same time, they had a simultaneous incapacitation. Basically, both bots were knocked out, and they were both counted out, and the fight went to the judges. The judges, of course, gave Tombstone the unanimous victory because they caused all the damage. So, this was definitely an improvement on Tombstone. They didn't break their weapon blade, but they still have some durability issues. For example, if this version of Tombstone fights a bot with some durability, sure, they may get some good hits in, but if they break down after the third or fourth hit, then they're going to lose. So, Tombstone, not completely out of the woods yet, definitely still has some issues, but they're 1-1 now, and their weapon blade didn't break. And honestly, I feel like Tombstone should just abandon the toothed blades and just stick with their bludgeoning blades like they have in the past. Next fight was Lucky versus Tantrum. Another one that kind of makes sense but also doesn't, because Lucky has always been a mid-tier bot. They haven't really proved to be anything more than that. They are a pneumatic flipper, which we don't really have too many pneumatic flippers. I think this season we only have 4 flippers. Tombstone and Sub-Zero being pneumatic, Hydra being hydraulic, and Blip being whatever weird flywheel electric contraption that thing is. But Lucky was fighting Tantrum, who went to the top 4 last season. Lucky started off very good. They got a couple good flips in and actually had Tantrum pinned up on the rails and potentially could have had them counted out. However, Lucky went in, flipped them again, and got them back in the battle box to continue the match, and Tantrum completely dominated from that point forward. Their weapon worked to perfection. They never lost their weapon in this match. They just tore Lucky apart, eventually ripped off, I think, 2 or 3 of their wheels. They could no longer drive, and they were counted out. Very, very dominant win for Tantrum, but pretty impressive showing for Lucky. Lucky has always been a mid-tier bot, and the fact that they could have potentially won this match had they not have re-engaged with Tantrum, they could have come away with the win here. But they definitely did look pretty decent. I could definitely see them making the top 32, but I don't really see them going much farther than that. Then the next fight is Ghostraptor versus Glitch. After this match, I have mad respect for Chuck Pitzer, the captain of Ghostraptor, because before the fight, Glitch almost couldn't make it to the fight because they had a screw that was stuck in their bot that they couldn't get out. And before the match started, Chuck had actually helped them get their bot ready for the match. Yeah, that light is kind of busted. The power cord is messed up. Just ignore it. Uh, and the fight. So they're ready to fight, and the match started. Glitch looked pretty good at first. Their egg beater spinner looks to be pretty potent, and however, their Omni Wheel drive system does not. For the vast majority of this match, they were just sort of floating around the battle box, getting stuck on the floor. And there's actually a couple times where Glitch should have been counted out. However, Ghostraptor got them unstuck and allowed the match to continue. And the match ended up going to the judges, and Glitch was awarded the W. Because Glitch had some pretty nice hits in with their egg beater spinner, Ghostraptor didn't really do anything other than help Glitch. In one of the very early exchanges, Ghostraptor lowered their lifter directly onto Glitch and just destroyed their weapon. Like, not even 30 seconds into their match, their blade was just out of commission. There's just down to the lifter. And they weren't really able to do much besides that. Like I said, Ghostraptor could have won this match. Just like the Tantrum fight, Lucky could have potentially won that match if they wouldn't have re-engaged. Glitch was literally stuck on the floor and could not move. But instead of taking a cheap victory, Chuck re-engaged, got them unstuck so the match could continue. Ghostraptor did absolutely nothing other than that. Glitch got some hits in with their egg beater spinner and was awarded the W. I am not fully sold on Glitch. Yes, their weapon has power, but they have some drive issues, and I'm still not really sold on the durability of Glitch. Until I see them take some real punishment and keep on ticking, I won't really fully be sold on Glitch. And then that leads us to the main event. Sawblaze versus Mad Catter. Both of these, some of the most aggressive bots we have seen in Battlebots. Which, of course, Mad Catter's Captain Martin Mason is an absolute lunatic with his wrestling act. And at first, a couple seasons ago, when I first saw Martin Mason, I really disliked him. I really disliked the whole wrestling character, but it's really grown on me a lot. And then Sawblaze is just super aggressive, heartless, honestly. So this match was pretty insane. Sawblaze dominated this entire match. Mad Catter held in for a while, but they ended up getting counted out. They were KO'd, but Mad Catter really showed the durability. They never got any hits in. They never really got to do any damage with their vertical spinner because Sawblaze was so dominant in both the control aspect and aggression and damage. They were controlling them all around the battle box. They were tearing them up with their hammer saw. This was just a very, very, very good showing from Sawblaze. Like, honestly, the way Sawblaze looked in this match, they could win the Giant Nut. They were flawless in this match. But Mad Catter hung in as long as they could, but there is ultimately nothing they could do. But of course, you know, Mad Catter took this loss to a very, very good bot, so it's safe to say that if they win their next match, Mad Catter should be good to go. Both of these are very, very good bots, but Sawblaze is absolutely dominated. Now, for the YouTube exclusive, we had Retrograde, which is, I believe, being brought by the same team as Bloodsport, versus Rampage. Rampage was a rookie bot last year that looked very, very janky and very, very generic. The most ultimate of a generic vertical spinner. They did not do very well last year. They came in this year with the bot looks mostly the same, but they looked slightly better, but not really. But they claimed that their bot was a lot better. Retrograde is a lifting control bot that also has an undercutter. This match was over in less than 20 seconds. Immediately out of the gate, Retrograde grabbed Rampage, flipped them over. That was basically it. Now, instead of just stopping and letting Rampage get counted out completely, as they were being counted out, they went in and got a couple shots in with their undercutter, knocked one of their wheels off, and had a couple other minor hits. And I saw someone in the comments of that video saying that those last hits are unnecessary, but it just makes them look better for the selection committee, and it gives them a little bit of a picture of what their undercutter can really do. And I don't really like this match, because it didn't really show what Retrograde can do, because all they did was flip them and nudge them a little bit with their undercutter to knock a wheel off. And then Rampage, of course, did absolutely nothing because they got flipped over within 5 seconds. So yeah, pretty boring match that just had left a lot to be desired. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this review of episode 4. I once again want to thank everyone for subscribing. We've hit over 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, peace.